We also have with us Archana ma'am. Ma'am, we welcome you. She is the Director of Engineering at IPS. Also, we're waiting for our guest of honor, Dr. Ikhlaq Sidhu, to join in. Once he does, we'll begin with the session. Thank you.
We are just waiting for our guest of honor to join. Please be patient.
I can call him. मतलब because मैंने call किया था और मतलब बाकी लोग सब just एक बार बता देना because तो क्या क्या ऑनलाइन है वो खराब है वो joined us join Can we please have a huge round of applause for our guests who have joined online? We welcome all of you. Thank you so much for joining in. A very good morning to one and all. I, Shama Kotecha, on behalf of IIEduTech and Sumeru, welcome each one of you. It gives me immense pleasure to host such distinguished guests on this wonderful platform. We all have gathered here to announce a program which will enable students to understand technological concepts and enhance focus skills in technology to convert an idea into a concept and convert a concept into a marketable project and to create balance between commercial and spiritual aspects of the life of an entrepreneur. Before we move any further, let us all offer our prayers to Ma Saraswati, goddess of knowledge and learning, by lighting up a diya.
या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा।
We also welcome Yogendra Ji Jain on the stage. IIEduTech, Indore IPS Academy Private Limited, is a constructive disruption in the world of education. This venture optimizes the interface of learning, skilling, entrepreneurship, and incubation. The primary objective of IIEduTech is to promote innovation and intellectual property creation through cutting-edge technology mindset, entrepreneurship, and mindfulness to enhance the skill sets of the students. As an initiative to promote and revolutionize technology-based innovation and startup ecosystem in India, IIEduTech intends to enable delivery of technology-driven programs to students by establishing delivery centers and online portals across India. Sumeru Venture is a $1 billion US-based technology fund. Sumeru Innovation is in its mission of creating one of the largest integrated digital innovation ecosystem for future skills, digital innovation, entrepreneurship, and mindfulness across the country and other global geographies. The vision of Sumeru Innovation is to become a leader in responsible digital innovation and a preferred destination for high-end future skills, entrepreneurs, and mindfulness. Today, we have with us Mr. Chaumin Chakrabarti, Managing Director at Sumeru Venture, who has over 30 years of experience in the global information technology industry, transcending the hardware, software, network, and more recently the AI, ML, blockchain, and the visual collaboration space, spanning diverse industry segments such as education, healthcare, government, fintech, energy, security, and surveillance and impact. He has played the role of founder, director, CEO, chief solutions architect, and mentor behind the innovation and R&D initiatives of many companies around the world, including US, India, Singapore, Japan, Germany, Finland, and Australia. Over the last 3 decades, he has built and powered self-driven global teams and managed global operations of multiple companies to achieve common business goals across diverse stakeholders. I'd like to invite Mr. Somen to address us.
Thank you, Shama. Good morning to all of you. First of all, distinguished guests on the dais, dignitaries from all over the world, our chief guest, Ikhlaq, and all the other dignitaries who's joined us by Zoom, and my dear students, fellow students and teachers. It gives me immense pleasure as Sumeru to partner with IIEduTech as our national exclusive partner to make the program Sumeru Innovation X accessible to budding technologists and entrepreneurs in India. We strongly believe that IIEduTech to be the right partner to take forward our mission to contribute to the IP wealth and value creation in India through its founders. Dr. Bharat Kotecha on the dais, a business strategist, business value creator, and a private equity investor. Dr. Atal Chaudhary, an eminent architect, a visionary and educationalist, and innovation close to the heart, and he's all about what you all are. Proud to be associated. Arvind Chaudhary, an experienced primary market investor and an industrialist. The unique combination of the founders and the expertise of Sumeru Innovation in bringing together globally acclaimed program designed by SCETUC Berkeley, global mentors from the Silicon Valley, beyond the global active partner venture funds, and the Indian flavor of the eminent panel of mentors with experience in policy, governance, tech science, and technology, and have the potential to ignite the minds to take a sincere efforts towards addition to the IP wealth of India. I congratulate IPS Academy as the first institute to join this journey to offer the program to its students. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this wonderful announcement, Somenji. Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is a humanitarian, spiritual leader, and an ambassador of peace and human values. Through his life and work, Gurudev has inspired millions around the world with a vision of a stress-free, violence-free world. He has designed programs that provide techniques and tools to live a deeper, more joyous life, and has established non-profit organizations that recognize the human identity behind the boundaries of gender, race, nationality, and religion. Due to some unforeseeable reasons, Gurudev could not be present with us physically, but we are delighted that he has sent across his blessings and best wishes for us via a video message.
Education is the backbone of any robust civilization. And that too here in India, where we had the ancient wisdom and ability to absorb, innovate, and propagate modern science. Our young people deserve the best of the world. I congratulate the Sumeru group and EduTech who have come together to give the best to the students here in India, the best of East and best of West. The most respected University of California at Berkeley, which is the dream of many young people even in this country, is coming to their doorstep. You know, there are many students who cannot travel abroad, cannot go to Berkeley, cannot go to US or UK for further studies. Now here, modern technology has made it possible that they can avail the high quality of education of their choice at their doorstep. I once again congratulate and blessings to all of you who are working towards creating a better society through innovation in education. All the best. Education.
Thank you so much for your blessings, Gurudev. We are honored to have with us our guest of honor, Dr. Ikhlaq Sidhu, Chief Scientist and Faculty Director of UC Berkeley's Sutardja Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology and Industrial Engineering and Operations Research Emerging Area Professor. An expert in the area of innovation engineering, Dr. Sidhu developed the very popular DataX course at Berkeley. He holds 75 patents for internet communication technologies. He has developed the entrepreneurship and technology area at the #1 public university in the world, UC Berkeley. Can we please have a huge round of applause to welcome Ikhlaq, sir?
Okay, hope I'm just testing over Zoom that you can all hear me. Okay, very good. All right, it gives me immense pleasure to that Sumeru Innovation X program is being offered or would be offered in India through the national partner IIEduTech, and along with that Sumeru X Innovation Program, which is based on our methods at Berkeley, for example, the Berkeley method of entrepreneurship and innovation engineering, in global partnership with the center, which I run at Berkeley, which is called the Sutardja Center. So Sutardja Center at UC Berkeley. This is a method that aims to empower students with the skills required to identify potential solutions to complex problems and using innovative alternatives supported by modern edge, cutting technologies. This also gives immense opportunity to establish a startup, create value, and create value in the process and contribute to the IP wealth of the economy and in India. I'm glad that Sumeru Innovation and IIEduTech are extending this opportunity for students and learners in India to have access to our methods that have been developed at Berkeley and access to mentorship from industry as well as industry leaders from across the globe. I understand that IIEduTech and the exclusive national partner, or is the exclusive national partner for delivering Sumeru Innovation X across India to optimize learning, skill, entrepreneurship, innovation opportunities, incubation opportunities for learners. And that this whole connected activity is founded by renowned business strategist and investor, Dr. Bharat Kocha, veteran educationalist, Mr. Akhil Chaudhry, and who is capital market analyst and investor, and Mr. Arvind Singh Chaudhry. Okay. With combined years of 100 years of experience between them, which will be very helpful to learners in their entrepreneurship and innovation journey throughout the program. Okay, so that's kind of my opening, but I would like to share some material and background and content with all of you. I wish I could actually see everyone in person. Right now it's a bit one-directional communication, but let me see if I can at least share some slides and some more information with you. Okay, I will need to be able to share the screen. If you can make me either co-host or give me screen sharing access, please. Yeah, okay. 1 second. All right. So as far as I'm aware, you're looking at my presentation slide screen, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to put it full screen. Okay, so this is the beginning of the information content for today. It's the Innovation X program, and this is a kickoff. I think before I go into the program, let me say a few words about the part of Berkeley, or maybe all of Berkeley, and the part of Berkeley that I'm from. I am the founding director of something called the Sutardja Center, which empowers people who want to innovate to be able to positively change the world. I started this program 15 years ago, actually a little bit more than that. It'll be 17 soon. It's well into the 16th year now. And it is part of the Berkeley College of Engineering, which is famous for innovation for over 150 years. The center itself is fairly large. We have 3,000 students. We have courses and labs that are in very emerging areas, 20 global partners, hundreds of executives, investors, many ventures have come from the center. So in a way, I welcome you through this video, welcome you to Berkeley. Okay, let me give you a little bit more background. So when we started the center 15 years ago, or as I said, almost 17 now, when we started, what we were trying to do was help engineers and scientists at Berkeley be able to do more. They had a strong technical education, but to be able to be broader, to innovate, to start companies, it takes more than only the technical education. So the way that we started was that we used case studies, like Harvard case studies, and we taught them to people who were in engineering and science. And what we used to do at that time was that we would invite the people who were written in those case studies into the classroom. And after some time, we found that the people we were inviting into the classroom were, these were the actual entrepreneurs, the actual innovators, and we had the case study. We found that they were, in some ways, more interesting than the case itself. You almost did not need the case if you had these actual people. And why are these people so interesting? The reason is that they have more than logical knowledge. They have more than skills. They have mindset, the way they see the world. They have behaviors, the way that they act, how open they are, how they communicate with each other. These behaviors and this mindset make them unique in a very special way. And when you see them, you understand how they were able to do so much. It's really down to those mindsets and behaviors. So we started to teach people how to have those mindsets and behaviors, and that became called the Berkeley Method of Entrepreneurship. We then took that behavioral training, and we added it to very technical topics like data science or blockchain or other things like this. And so when we combined it, we ended up with a new framework that was for engineering. So this was innovation engineering, and we've been applying this framework for our data science courses, for our 5G AI labs, for our blockchain acceleration, and for tools for everyone. Now, there's a misconception, and I want to just fix it, which is that, how is it that you can teach people to be able to innovate? And the way that you can do it, it can be done, but what I want to say is that you can't teach it by telling people prescriptively what to do. Like in math or in physics or in other subjects, you can teach the theory and then have people practice it. That's prescriptive, that's deductive, that's a very specific type of training. But what you're trying to do when you innovate is do something that no one else has done before. So there is not a standard recipe to do it. Okay, and it also cannot be learned by reading a book and answering the questions. So you cannot just be able to tell the teacher what it is that you read in a book. That would not be enough. Okay, so what is it that we can do? And in this program, what we decided to do was we decided to make the project the centerpiece of the work that would be done. So instead of learning lots of theory and then maybe using the project as an example, we would instead say, what is it that you want to do? Build a new venture or build some innovation. And then whatever you need to learn, you learn it based on what it is that you're trying to do. And all the support would be provided for that. Okay, so this is like flipping the model of education around. And this is what we're doing with this program. And what I'd like to do is spend just a few minutes now, give you some idea, how do people even get their ideas? Just how do they get ideas and how do they start from the beginning? And then as you go into these types of programs, you would use this type of approach to get your ideas. And then after that, you can use the rest of the processes and the rest of the behaviors and so forth in order to complete or to be successful with it. So I just want to talk about how we get started today. Okay, so one thing that I want to say is there's 4 parts to every venture or every new project. There's the team, the people themselves, there's the story. That's like what it is they say they're trying to do. There's the validation that says, is it true that anyone would want this? And does it really fit? And then there's execution where you actually build or make it or sell it, and do all the things to make it happen in real life. And in classrooms, usually what happens is you spend some time forming the team, lots of time on the story, less on validation, and very little on execution. But in real life, I just want you to have this realization that the team takes some time, the story takes some time, much more time goes into checking that the story makes sense, and much more time after that. All the hard work is in the execution. And so because you can make slides does not mean that you can make the innovation. It does not mean that you can make the company. So all of that is done in the execution. So I want to help you balance, understand what we're really talking about here. Okay, and the way that our programs work when they're based on innovation engineering is we usually spend half the time working on what is the story? What is it that describes what we're going to be making? And then we spend the second half of the time on the solution. You cannot jump to the solution if you haven't spent enough time developing the narrative, the story narrative. Okay. Now, like I said, I would just want to spend a few minutes and give you some ideas of how people develop the story in order to get started. The first, this is just one example of a way to come up with ideas. I call it A cross B story generation, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's suppose that you take one trend, technical trend that's happened in the world, and you take one actual business that is running in the world. So you may not know, but Barnes & Noble was a bookstore. And the internet is certainly a trend. Now this is back 20 years, but if you take that trend and you put the idea of that, intersect with the idea of a bookstore, this is basically the description or the model of Amazon. So Amazon is the intersection of the trend and one specific type of business, a bookstore. Okay, so now if I said I want to do Amazon, but in China, yes, that's possible that you could say, oh, there's a business idea there. In fact, there is a business that's like that. Okay, if I say I would like to do big data, but in China, then what you'll see is that I have an X through here because neither one of these two is a working business. So if one of these was a business and the other one was a trend or a geography, it will be fine. But neither one, so it's too broad. You need one working company and one trend, okay? Intersect those two, and then you basically have the description of an idea for another business. Of course, you need something that no one is already doing. Now, we do this all the time with our projects here. We'll take any telephone company function and intersect it with data and AI, and then you can come up with ideas that reinvent the telephone operator. Or you can take any vertical company, health, auto, banking, and take a new technical trend like 5G or IoT, or the fact that it's going to be low latency, and say, what will change? And then you'll come up with a concept which can be a project or a company. Okay. Now, that was just one of my kind of normal favorite approaches. I call that A cross B. But there's other things that you can do. You can look at recent changes and ask what's going to happen after that. There's, of course, problems that you're aware of. There's targets for disruption. That means looking for companies that are maybe slow, that are not very efficient, that their customers just barely like them. They kind of don't, they tolerate them, but they don't really like them. They become lazy over time. You can choose those as just competitors, and you can think, how can I disrupt them? How could I compete? Doesn't matter. We have lots of ways that people get ideas. From this, you should generate ideas and turn it into a very specific format, which we use in our process, which is what's the need, approach, benefit, competition. That's called NABC. So this is a lot of, this is to give you like some feeling for what happens in the program, and also where to start. Now, I'm not going to spend lots and lots of time. I just wanted to introduce these ideas to you. Okay, so this is my last message actually for the whole talk is, what we're looking for is observe the environment for changes, and then take the skill of the team you have, develop the story, the narrative. From that, there is a pitch, and the reason why you do this is to develop ecosystem, to develop stakeholders, to attract people to be able to help you. But then what happens is you can take the same story and the same pitch and the same, everything, but different teams will make different amounts of progress. And that's the part that's execution. The same idea, someone will go very far and make a tremendous company even out of it. Another person, another team will take the same story, the same skills, and they will do very little with it. So it's both the story and then what you do in real life with the execution. This is what makes innovation. Okay, there's obviously more. There's more to learn and understand, but I'm going to stop here. And so with that, I'm going to kind of unshare the screen and see if there are any questions or clarifications or anything else I can answer right now. Otherwise, I'm very happy that I got a chance to help introduce the program and to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing at Berkeley and at other leading schools around the world. All right, thank you. We're on video. I believe that you're speaking, but we're not hearing you on this side.
Okay, so can you hear me now?
Yes, now we
Okay,
can.
yeah, we just wanted to thank you that we had this wonderful opportunity to hear from you, and we'll compile all the questions and get back to you for sure. And I'd like to request you to make us the host, because to enable you to present, we actually ended up making you the host instead of co-host.
Oh, do I need to do something?
Yeah, you'll have to click on our name and then make host. You have to click on the title.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Here, let's see. So let's see, who should I make host?
E-learning department.
All right, that will be done. 1 second.
Sure.
There you go. You are the host. As you were before.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving further, we have with us Mr. Jatin Charasya, founder of Sumeru Ventures and CEO of Art of Living Digital, who is a successful and experienced entrepreneur with expertise in the digital transformation of global organizations. As a valley-based entrepreneur for past 20 plus years, Jatinji possesses the mind of a technocrat thought leader. His vision for Sumeru Ventures is to help every entrepreneur who aspires to build a global platform, which in turn empowers people to collectively grow, innovate, and uplift the human race. Jatinji, over to you.
Thank you, Shama. Thank you, respected dignitaries. Thank you, Dr. Iqlal Sidhu. It's an honor to be among all of you. Dr. Bharatji, Achalji, Arvindji. You have heard about now from Gurudev and now from Clark Sidhu, is how, I'm going to relate to from a personal story. I been in Art of Living Foundation and been managing the IT infrastructure of Art of Living in 160 countries. I've met a lot of great people who have great ideas. And, primarily two things were missing there. The education, how they can apply towards their ideas, and the mentorship, including me. While when I was with Berkeley, when I saw the program with Dr. Clark Sidhu, it's an intersection of like how Dr. Clark Sidhu mentioned about the program, what does it do? With that being said, this quality education is the right for every child and citizen of this planet, and as well as in India. When I was recently in Indore, when I seen the campus of IPS and the program, which is the faculties what they're offering, we found the right blend of that education which can be applied towards with the quality education Berkeley is providing towards the success of this program. Now, I would once again congratulate everyone. I wish everybody all the best, and my special regards to Dr. Achalji, Dr. Bharat Kotecha for making this program with first center to be launched in Indore, and I look forward for this program to be executed and look forward working with you all. Thank you very much.
Jatinji, to share with us the overview of the program, Sumeru Innovation Next, I would like to request Mr. Somen to take over.
Good morning once again. I could read through a lot of text, but let me speak extempo. I think we are going through a phase where technology is transforming human lives. And I think it was so much more that it's prevalent today. Let me give you a small example that I tried with my son. All of you who have dialed the telephone, right? And he growing up in the US and of course, through all the modern technology, I tried to reverse engineer and tell him that, can you dial a number for me for using this phone, which I found out? To my utter surprise, he was finding it extremely difficult to do it. And he said, how did you remember those numbers? How did you dial? Many of you who have gray hairs just like me would know what I mean in terms of those days when we remembered every number. From there to today, where technology, I think in the last 50 years, has just simply transformed human life. Let me try and explain that with an example to all of you. You all know, and I give this example very often, because earlier our belief was that human beings have to meet other human beings to trust one another, right? We have to meet, it's just that how long I know you, it establishes my relationship with that individual. Technology today is building trust between humans. How so? Think of Uber and think of Airbnb, right? What did they do? Would you jump into a stranger's car about 10 years ago or go into a stranger's home and live there? You would never do that. The first instant in your mind is, why? Oh my God, I would that's the last thing you would do. Why? Because you did not know that person. You did not know on whose house you were going, on the car that he was driving for you. But today, that same piece of application, or app as we call it popularly today, is establishing trust between two unknown peoples for me to go and jump into a stranger's car or just get into a stranger's home. And there are n number of applications. The point here is it is transforming. In this transformationary age, entrepreneurship, which has its own blend across these years, across multiple industry groups, is also undergoing a dynamic transformation. The way we used to think of entrepreneurship before and the way we think of it now is you are driving on a one-way street against the traffic. If you're able to do that, you are becoming an entrepreneur. And the success is world over. It's just not in the United States. Today in India, we have about 10 unicorns, which are talking about $20 billion worth of valuations. Valuations that's going from 10 billion to 20 billion. About 5 years ago, this was unthinkable. And I could go on naming a lot of them. In this transformed era, I think entrepreneurship needs to be looked at the way that IIEduTech has so brilliantly presented across these years. And it was transformatory for all of us to learn from him as to how this ideation process and how this entrepreneurship process can be truly represented in a very different format. The format is simple. The way we kind of think is that the components of his ideation, the storyboard, you would have when IIEduTech went through that story, you would have thought in your minds that, well, first I must think of that technology idea, that great product I'm trying to build, that great service I'm trying to build. No, that's not actually it. The first is you are trying, in the framework that is being delivered, you're first trying to convince others that you truly have an idea and they believe in you. The idea is if you have just an idea and you can't form a team of another person who believes in you, you probably don't have a product which is going to be built, which is going to be purchased by many. You may have, but probably the chances are less. From that point onwards, you start building that story in your mind. You build that story, you take validation, you present that story till the time you come and build a world-class product. And I have seen this with my own eyes, product prototypes being built across two weekends. I have seen that. Well, one would think that it takes months and years and so on to go forward. I have seen that in one of the stuffs that we've done with IIEduTech in January this year. Across 2 weekends, students, I think from over 16 countries and numerous universities collaborated to form prototypes in just 2 weekends. And that also, team members where the CEO was in one country, the CFO was in another country, the marketing guy was in another country, and the CDO was in another country. We've seen that happening. Now with that, we bring in this unique program, Sumeru Innovation X. It's a blend of the Berkeley method of entrepreneurship and innovation engineering, which IIEduTech has authored for a very, very long time. And along with that, we come and build in the technology pieces. So the earlier the skills and the thoughts that you have in your mind that I must learn everything, I must pick up everything that I got to learn, and then use probably 10 or 20% of my knowledge to build a product or a service that I'm creating, or get into an organization where I can go and kind of deliver what I've learned. Here, the thought process is very, very opposite in nature. Here, what we're saying is that you have an idea. Do you need to learn the entire technology stack? Of course, you need to have the basics. You're engineers and you're future technologists, so there is some basics in you. But you need to understand what is it that you require to deliver that product or service, and only learn or concentrate on that part of it. And then build your product or service, right? And the third part of it, which has been uniquely blended into this program, is every entrepreneur in this world goes through, and all of us go through stress. I think the last 2 years of COVID has shown stresses at multiple levels, starting from a child to the senior-most members of the family. That stress needs to be handled well, it needs to be dealt well, and therefore an entrepreneur, when he goes into the outside organizations, or either today the concept of an entrepreneur is just not limited to building a product or starting a company. Entrepreneurship has gone into organizations. If you get hired by an organization, they will say, okay, we'll make you an SBU leader, and you have to take charge of your P&L or a profit and loss account. If you're managing a profit and loss account, you're nothing but an entrepreneur. So the sense of the entrepreneur doesn't always have to be, oh, I have to build a product or a service. You could become an entrepreneur within the organization where you're trying to go, and the value of such people in today's world is much, much higher than just people with pure skills. And that's a worldwide phenomenon. I could, of course, go on, but the point I'm trying to make here is this unique blend of three components of ideation, the unique blend of the component of technology and mindfulness is what we are trying to call this as the Sumeru Innovation X program. This is the first of its kind getting launched in the country. And I believe this is probably the optimum time in the country where entrepreneurs are showing in the world that what they can do are right here sitting out of India, be it Byju's, be it Ola, be it you name it, they're just coming one after another. Billion-dollar companies are just coming one after another. So India is also in that path. It is the right time to be backed by venture funds, to be backed by angel funds, to be backed by your ideas, to create fresh thought processes that can provide those cutting-edge technologies around the world. One of the things and mindshare that we have predominantly over here is because of the nature of the services economy which has given us success. The services economies, the companies like all the great companies in India, TCS, Infosys, Wipro have done great. But we are yet to come across the global arena where we can truly create a world-class product, right? Many times around the world, I face this question that, look, how can I visualize the world sitting out of here? Well, Zuckerberg didn't have to visualize, didn't have to come to India to create Facebook, which runs in every village in every country in the world. So the ideation processes are getting transformationally results. It's just that you being in a part of a particular geography or a particular area or a particular demographics doesn't make you any way inferior to anybody else. With that, I would say that there is some very interesting transformations happening to the human being as well, and I love to give this example, and we are getting into that era. If you look at the word innovation and the way I define it, is that human beings, so necessity is the mother of invention. We've heard this from school, right? This term is common to all of us. All of us know that. Well, there is also probably another reason human beings innovate. And I call it the theory of command and control. You may differ with me, it's my own theory. What that says is that human beings definitely, necessity is the mother of invention, but human beings also love the element of command and control. You love to control your families. You love to control the trees, the pets, the cup, the mug, the tie, the jacket, whatever you're wearing. So you are very control-oriented by yourselves. You're driven like that. What can't you control? You can't control with what you're blessed with, the human body. You can use your mind. Can you control it truly? Maybe not. You can use your eyes. Can you control it? Your cameras, your audio devices, you cannot. So what did you do? You created external cameras and controlled them. You created computer systems and controlled them. The Venus system was reproduced as networks and you controlled them, right? And today, you want to control your mind, artificial intelligence. You want to take out your mind and control it outside. Absolutely possible. The phenomenal part of the research, and I'm not telling you a science fiction sci-fi story, was that started off a couple of decades ago. The brain-computer interface, popularly known as that. Can I communicate as a human being to another human being without just by connecting through a network? That happened by a professor called Dr. Kevin Warwick of the University of Reading. He created a microprocessor and he operated his wrist and connected his median nerve and he connected the internet. You can Google him. He created, he could switch off a bulb 4,000 miles away by mere thinking. He could switch off, he could drive a car by mere thinking. And Irina and Kevin Warwick are the first married couple to experience CNS to CNS communication. I'm not so sure you should do that, but all I'm saying is that this is possible. And this is not science fiction. All of you who Googles it, you just find him there. He's come to India as well. So all I'm saying is we are getting into an era where we are entering our body. We are challenging the realms and creating those ideas outside with the support of many, many more cranial power to be able to come out with some kind of a product or services which does better for the human beings. With that, I would love to see many of you in our program, which is getting launched shortly. It's going to be something which is very, very different, and it's going to start right from this institute. So you're going to be one of the leaders of the new propagation of systems that's starting in this country. With that, I end my speech. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Somen sir. The founders of IIEduTech bring in a rare combination of a renowned business strategist and investor, Dr. Bharat Kotecha, a veteran educationalist, Mr. Achal Chaudhary, and a capital market analyst and investor, Mr. Arvind Singh Chaudhary. Dr. Bharat Kotecha, founder of Mumbai-based Indian Venture Capital Limited, is a thought leader and renowned and successful business and valuation strategist and investor with keen business interests in information technology, entrepreneurship development, and e-products and e-business. Dr. Bharat Kotecha's contribution to the social, financial, and industrial sector for more than 3 decades is well acclaimed. Dr. Kotecha is a doctorate in financial management with specialization in capital investments. He has leveraged his insights to identify companies with potential to become world leaders at an early growth stage and help them reach their goal and create valuations. The All India Conference of Intellectuals has conferred the prestigious award, the Great Son of India, to Dr. Kotecha. He has been associated with various social and non-governmental organizations in the areas of investors' education, empowerment and protection, and many more. So we'd like to call you up on stage. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I welcome all the guests, chief guest, Gurudev Pranam, special guests, guest of honors, and dignitaries sitting on the dais, and all fellow principals and dear students. So first of all, on behalf of IIEduTech founders, I would like to thank SAET, UC Berkeley, and Sumeru Innovation and Sumeru Venture, Jatinji and C. Somenji, for keeping trust, infinite trust on us and announced us as a national exclusive strategic partner for this program. Thank you. Secondly, now I would like to just come on how unique this course is. Over the period of more than 3 decades experience, what I found when Somenji first we discussed about this course, so I was thrilled. Honestly, I was thrilled, and with a very much pleasure, I thought that the combination, the curriculum of this course and the designing of this course is in such a fashion that it cannot be comparable with anyone, because it's a great combination of entrepreneurship, innovation, technology, and mindfulness. So we can't compare. We have tried to search out throughout the world, but I think there is not a single course which gives this a great combination. And with Ikhlaq sir's speech, we could very well now find out that many world leader companies like Google, Samsung, you name that, Apple, with their technological problem, they have went to this great institute, that's great university with the great scholar, teachers, and we can say mentors to solve their technological problem. So it's honestly our honor and privilege to have this type of course first time in India, rather I would say first time in the world, because Sumeru has started this because of our relationship. They started in India, A, and B, now it started in Indore. So it's a double privilege to us. So because we all are from Indore, so I think as a first delivery center, it's coming into Indore. So I think, and that's also with the IPS. So it's a great honor for us. So now what I have seen, now looking at this uniqueness of this course, one thing, over the period of my more than 3 decades experience, what I have found, there are two sets of innovators, technocrats. One who have successfully built up their companies and created the valuation because they were having two great things with them. A, the traits of the entrepreneurship, one. And at the same time, the constantly drive to innovate the things and drop in all those great ideas and emerging technologies into their companies and visualize the entire environment. What Ikhlaq sir has shown us the entire program, the same program. So there are a set of great successful innovators. At the same time, we have a set of other inventors, you can say innovators, having a great product with a multi-billion-dollar technology valuation in their unlocked valuation. Rather, I will use this unlocked. You may have a billion-dollar technologies with them, and I think Somenji is eyewitness of this for many of the promoters because we have invested in also our money in that, and at the same time we have seen those promoters. They were only having the traits of technology. They were missing two things. One, constantly innovation part was missing, A, and B, they were not having the traits of entrepreneurship. So with this combination, I think this course is extraordinary because I have seen the failures with my eyes. We have invested in on those companies and they could not reach to an optimum level of their valuation because of non-availability of entrepreneur traits. So with this course, we will be, as a student, I'm coming on student also, so I'm just right now giving an example of what has happened in this world as those who have built up the company and those who got the valuation and those who could not get valuation. They were missing one thing, the idea of entrepreneurship or the seeds of entrepreneurship in their gene. They have not adopted from the environment also because of the lack of that environment. So we are here to give that seeds of entrepreneurship at our own IIEduTech, A, with our great entrepreneur, our partners like Achal Bhaiya, Baba sir, and all that, we all, like Arvind Bhai. So that entire combination is there with IIEduTech. So now I would like to come on the student side. We have a great program with us, A. So now I'm wearing the shoes of student, I would like to communicate with you that what usually students have dilemma. So usually students have two type of dilemmas. Irrespective of the stream, मैं जीवन में क्या करूँगा? What I'll do in my life? Which stream? पापा ने बोला है तो I'm going to the mechanical, chemical, or maybe in electronic or electrical. But the thing is, in our opinion, this dilemma, and second, मैं ultimately job करूँगा. Whether I'm going to be, why I'm speaking in Hindi also, because I got a request from some of the HOD that just have some blending, and I think my Hindi is good, I thought. So I'm sorry guests, I'm blending some of the Hindi words also. So the bottom line is whether I'm going to do job or I'm going to be an entrepreneur. That's as a student life, this dilemma is always there. So answering this, both the segment separately, if you are thinking, okay fine, in the entire environment of my family or say my own inclination is there for job only, no doubt, go ahead with that inclination. But we would like to give you the ready-made data. We have inculcated all those data into our research-based data for the sake of students. Let's see if you upskill and reskill yourself with this global prominent companies. They are absorbing only those students, those employees, those are willing to go for reskilling and upskilling themselves, and they're making them the vertical head of any of the businesses. So if you are having entrepreneurship traits, A, those traits you take into, you learn these traits from these courses, and then, okay fine, your inclination is towards job, don't worry. But if you are in an organization, you will definitely going to be on a different level of SBU head or some great position in that. And this we have given by numbers. Amazon or maybe the great companies of the country and big world and this big four consulting firm like E&Y, KPMG, Grant Thornton, you name any company, they have kept aside billions of dollars, 2 billion, 3 billion, 1 billion for just upskilling and reskilling their talents into their organization. Don't mind, just whatever your wish is there, right? If you want to be entrepreneur, we are here to help you out. And if, and honestly speaking, from the business side, from the building up the company side, we have more than 3 decade experience, and some of our distinguished guests are also here today. Shama will separately tell them, but I personally wish if you adopt this course, I'm very sure you must have heard about this unicorn terminology very often nowadays. I guess that everybody knows unicorn. What is this unicorn? Having valuation of more than $1 billion. So before 2 months, when Aditya ji, we were just discussing and making our brochure, our own brochure, there were only 33 unicorns having valuation of more than $1 billion. And today there is a $41 billion. And I personally see this environment, the flushes of fund, because Somenji, world over 12 funds already tie up in 15 days, great relationship for helping our students. At the same time, throughout last 20 years, venture capitalist private equity side, we have also developed. We have seen Paytm honor sitting with us in the cabin when on 2006, 7, 8, struggling, no doubt, you were struggling. We were sitting together like that in one of the VC's cabin. But he has not left the passion and created this company. So I feel from our IIEduTech, from our Indore, this 41 numbers, it will grow. We can't stop that. But you have to unfold your desire of becoming an entrepreneur. And I think one of the unicorn will soon, in short of the time, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we will try our all level best to produce even unicorn from our campuses. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bharat, for addressing the students' point of view as well. With us, we have architect Achal Chaudhary, an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur and a renowned architect. He is the president of IPS Academy, a premier institution of Central India. The group has completed 27 glorious years of its successful journey. IPS Academy, as it stands today, is a dream fulfilled and a mission accomplished by its president, architect Achal Chaudhary ji. At IPS, it has been an endeavor to provide education that leads to multifaceted development of a student's innate talents, intellectual and physical capabilities, instill Indian values and culture, thus making them responsible citizens and diligent human beings. So, we'd like to welcome you on stage.
I welcome all the dignitaries on the stage, off the stage, and all the students who are going to produce new unicorns. And the enthusiasm, Bharat Bhai, his team, Somenji, and people from Sutardja, UC Berkeley, is like a clerk. I think the number 41 will go, I'm confident, to 410. I welcome you all to this August gathering and wish you all a very good afternoon. It's in a way, soft launching of IIEduTech in presence of so many great celebrities. And we are really very blessed today to be blessed by Shri Shri Ravi Shankar ji. Thank you, Gurudev. We are very thankful to Shri Eklak Sidhu ji for enlightening us on the concept of ideas and innovations. really I think it will go a very long way and we'll be able to work a lot on that. I'm very thankful to Jatinji and Somenji for bringing this concept to India, and more means very, very, very thankful to Bharat Bhai and Arvindji to bring this concept to IPS Academy. I'm very hopeful, not hopeful, but confident this team will go a long way and do lot of innovative works. It has always been our dream to inculcate this research habit in our students. We have always been trying to promote that. I just remember today there was one student, a school student in the name of Patnaik. Just when you talked about controlling a bulb 400 miles, so this I think happened about 15, means if not 15, 10 to 12 years back, that child had created an equipment which was fit on the headgear, and with that the wheelchair was controlled. He could move without moving anything, could move the wheelchair anywhere. So I think these kind of ideas can develop anytime and anywhere. Only thing is you have to keep thinking and work onto it. IPS Academy has always been trying to build this kind of thing amongst its students. I think this particular program will act as a, what do you call in chemistry? It enhances catalyst in increasing their potentiality. I would bring your notice to one thing over here. Iklak Sidhu, Jatinji, Somenji, Bharatji, and all that you can name, they are all Indians. They are all Indians. That means the Indians have no dearth of good mind, good set of research attitude. Only thing is, I think the environment, the proper guidance. So with this particular program, I am very hopeful that we'll be able to, because if you see, you know, Google, Head, Pichai, everywhere means if you see the top notch, it's all Indians. So why can't we do our own thing? We have to just think and ponder over it. And I think the great things, the India can become the guru again. So with that, wish you all a very prosperous, very fruitful future wherein you can do a lot of research work and bring this unicorn from 41 to 410. Thank you all.
Although the format of the program, Sumeru Innovation X, provides its learners with mentorship from faculty mentors and mentorship from prominent industry experts across the globe, IIEduTech has brought to you industry-specific, top-notch Indian mentors who will guide you, the learners, throughout your journey. We are honored to have with us some of our industry-specific mentors who are here to share their viewpoints about emerging technology and entrepreneurship. First up, we have with us Mr. Gopal Kumar, co-founder of a fintech company in the personal finance space, and he is a practicing actuary and entrepreneur. He is a board member of Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority, a statutory body under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. He has niche qualifications in the areas of actuarial science, finance and econometrics, and has professional experience in the areas of actuarial consulting, liability evaluation, actuarial audit, risk management, investments, business journalism, academics, and economic research. He has authored a book, Actuarial Aspects of Product Development, part of the core curriculum published by Insurance Institute of India. Can we please have a round of applause for Gopal ji?
Thank you very much, Shama, for this introduction. First of all, a lot of regards to Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji for giving us the blessings on the start of this program. Mr. Akilak Sidhu, Mr. Jatin Charasya ji, Mr. Somen Chakrabarti, and IIEduTech founders, Dr. Bharat Koteja, Sri Achal Chaudhary, Arvind ji, esteemed faculty, dear students. It is indeed a great privilege to be with you this morning, discussing on something which can be a trendsetter for this country, where we need a lot of entrepreneurs. And at the outset, I really congratulate Sumeru Innovation and its exclusive national partner, IPS Academy Private Limited, on launch of their global program called Sumeru Innovation X, and its first delivery center in India, that is in IPS Indore. As we know, education is very important. As Guruji said, education is important, right? It creates a lot of enhancement in productivity. It promotes entrepreneurship. It secures economic and social progress and improve income distribution. This has become more of a hypothesis than a reality in India. Whether to accept that hypothesis or reject this, I think we have to add to this endeavor, and that endeavor is called skilling. Unless and until we add skilling to this education, or we value add in this education system, I think all these expectations or aspirations, what we have, what policymakers have, cannot be achieved. So education sets in context. It gives you the context, and skilling develops the problem-solving ability. And both should work together to create a sustainable ecosystem. But this ecosystem is not complete unless and until you add some technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, incubation, funding, and mindfulness, which is very important. That will give the ecosystem for sustainable and scalable economic growth and development. This venture is all about creating an integrated ecosystem, which is very important. I read it somewhere, as a human being, what you can contribute to the society pertains to three aspects. It is called theory of triple H. It's heart, head, and hand. In my view, entrepreneurship is all about having a passionate heart, clinical mind, and skillful hand. If you just have a skillful hand and clinical mind, I think you are not eligible to call yourself an entrepreneur. And I don't restrict the definition of entrepreneur in the realm of business. Entrepreneurs can be anywhere. There's a concept of intrapreneur also. So entrepreneurship is not an event, it's not a personality, it's not a character, it's a journey, right? And if entrepreneurship becomes your destination, then you cannot achieve your destination. It has to be a journey, and you have to enjoy this journey. If you see in the country-specific, context, entrepreneurship is very important. If the kind of demographic pattern dividend we have, we want to make use of that demographic endowment what we have. And the best way to do that, we have a lot of young people, we have to create jobs, but that will not solve the problem. We have to create the job creators. And this program will go a long way in not just creating jobs, but also creating job creators. I have been an entrepreneur for last 10 years, but I believe that it is not a one-time activity, it's a journey. And I do enjoy this journey of being an entrepreneur. What is entrepreneurship? When I started my journey as an entrepreneur, I thought, what exactly is this? Is this all about taking risks? Is it all about getting into stress? It is all about creating some product. It is all about creating some solutions. I think entrepreneurship goes much, much beyond that. I put it as in a control cycle. In actuarial science, we have one concept of actuarial control cycle, which I think can be applied to any field, and it has 5 aspects of control cycle, and this applies to entrepreneurship as well. So first is that you have to understand the business environment. That is very important, right? What kind of business you are in, what kind of abilities you have, whether your abilities are aligned to the need of the hour, need of the economy, right? So first thing is that you have to understand your business environment. That includes regulation and everything. Second thing is that identify the problem. When we say identify the problem, not necessarily that problem exists. Sometimes it becomes very late to identify that problem. So you can also look for delight point, the solution which can give someone a lot of flexibility in life, right? So firstly, you have to identify the problem. Then second is look for the solutions. And solutions has to be sustainable. It has to be cost effective. That is very important. Once you have developed the solution, you need to have continuous monitoring of that solution and the continuous monitoring of the problem. Is there has been any change in the context of that problem or any change in the dimensions of that solutions? In that case, you have to monitor the solution, whether that solution is still valid for that particular problem or not, and continuously improve on that solution. This is all has to be combined with professionalism. Unless and until you have the professionalism, right, you cannot be a good entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. Many people in India is a land of entrepreneurship, where 80% of our people are in unorganized sector. Most of them are self-employed. They are also entrepreneur to some extent, but why they could not scale? The thing is that they did not have that right ecosystem where we are blending education, we are blending skilling, incubation, funding, mentoring. I think this platform will create that ecosystem which can help us to create that mark. Entrepreneurship is all about freedom and courage. This is my personal experience. We all have aspirations. I cannot think of human being without aspirations. But many a times, we kidnap our own aspirations. We just put it in a room and forget it, and fuel it by illogical pragmatism, practicality, procrastination. We say that, I have a family to run, I cannot be an entrepreneur. You are just sacrificing your aspirations. You are kidnapping your own aspirations and giving illogical answers to yourself. And at the end of the day, you are not happy, right? You have to, if you want to be happy, happiness is directly linked to your following your heart. And I believe if you follow your heart, mind will certainly catch up and your hand will chase that, right? So don't worry about what you think. What you think may be rational, irrational. Listen to your heart. That heart is the most unbiased part of your body, right? Which can basically tell you what is your mandate? Why have you come on this earth? You have some aspirations, how you can fulfill that. And as Somen said, it is difficult to control your mind, right? But we have to learn how to control our mind, right? It is very important we control our mind and we listen to our heart. Someone has said the best way to predict the future is to create one, and it is possible. I do believe it is possible. I was also working 10 years back and I had some aspirations. I had 2 decisions to make, whether I should continue or whether I should take a jump, right? I planned it. I had the risk appetite, but at that point in time, I did not have the risk capability. Both are important for entrepreneurship. What is the difference between risk capability and risk appetite? Risk capability, whether you can afford to take that risk, and appetite is something your willingness to take risk. Right? Many of us have got willingness to take risks, but can we afford that? So we have to balance risk capability and risk appetite to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is difficult. It is not easy, right? Means if I tell you that it is very easy, not. All great things are difficult, right? Every great thing have got a cost. Sometimes it may be at the cost of your personal sacrifice, your family sacrifice, but it is important that, whether that path can embetter you or enable you, that depends on how much optimism, how much patience, how much persistence you have, right? So ambition without implementation is a ridiculous delusion, right? You can have a lot of ideas. We are full of ideas, But if unless and until you implement it, what is the point having that idea? Somebody else will take it and implement it. So implementation is the key. So I am a co-promoter of a fintech company. We have got an incubator, we have got angel investor as well. So last 1 minute I'll take and I'll tell you 3 learnings what I have got from this enterprise. One is that, right, entrepreneurship is a journey. You have to enjoy the journey to reach the destination. If your fascination is just the destination and you're not enjoying the journey, I think you have to learn how to enjoy the journey. That is the first thing, right? It has to be part of your day and day out, right? You cannot think that, by end of the day, my venture will be successful. The challenges will remain there. The dimensions, the nature of the challenges will change. So we have to learn to live with the challenges. We have to learn how to address challenges, and we have to inculcate that habit of living with the challenge. Unless and until we do that, entrepreneurship is not the right path for us. Second is that we have to follow the theory of triple H, heart, head, and hand. It has to be aligned. If there is any mismatch between the 3, first you align that. Do what your heart says, and just listen to your head also, and you can also influence your head. Don't head run you. You can also run your head. So I believe in that. You can read a book, The Power of Now, that tells you how you can control your head. Head also gives you sometimes irrational thoughts, right? And heart always gives you when you are in the state of equilibrium, right? You know what I mean by that. It gives you very objective of life. And third thing is that, which I have learned, is optimism, patience, and courage are important. We have to be out of fear. We have to have freedom, because these are the 2 dimensions which can give you right decision-making platform. So with this, I think I'll conclude. There are many things to talk, but in the paucity of time, I'll conclude here and wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Besides Gopalji, with us we have Professor Ashok Alurji. He has a PhD in agriculture with 20+ years of experience in agriculture, higher education, international cooperation, natural resources management, and much more. He has held different positions in Swiss Agency for Development Cooperation, International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, and Horticultural University, and also served as a Vice Chancellor. Presently, he is the director at Center of Excellence for Farmers Producer Organizations. He is a recipient of many prestigious awards, including honors from ICRISAT for his contributions to reduce poverty, malnutrition, environmental degradation, honorary recognition from Thailand, honorary credentials from China, and many more. So, over to you.
Thank you, Shama. His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Guruji, all distinguished guests who have joined online and offline, beloved students, faculty, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to everybody. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to be part of this launching of the program, Sumeru Innovation X, designed and developed by SCET, University of California at Berkeley, and Sumeru through exclusive national partner, IPS EduTech Private Limited. Friends, we are all aware, and we have realized that without a robust and resilient innovation strategy, no institution, no company, no university can survive and thrive and grow further. Our country is pushing towards a knowledge-based digital economy. The government, both at the union and at the different states, they are trying to attempt to deploy ICT infrastructure and enhance policies for e-governance and investments in technology innovation through research and development, especially in the higher education sector, to support entrepreneurship and thus help the economic growth in the country. With the growing demand for digital services in post-COVID scenario, we have seen a lot of startups in agrotechnology, financial technology, educational technology, artificial intelligence, IoT, and cyber tech security. They are witnessing an increasing user demand, and this will certainly attract more and more investment and also a lot of young entrepreneurs to get into the sectors. There's a dire need to empower the youth of the nation and with the right skills and to help them to unleash their true potential, while at the same time creating a tech and innovation-based ecosystem that will nurture, foster, and accelerate the growth of these entrepreneurs. We need to celebrate entrepreneurship in this great country. It's interesting to note that the Sumeru Innovation has partnered with Sutardja Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology at University of California, Berkeley, to create and aggregate the talented individuals and advance resources to offer solutions and thought leadership to our future entrepreneurs in India. The program aims to take the participants through several entrepreneurship skills, innovation-based technology mentoring, create a wonderful startup ecosystem, help in learning and skilling, manage balance between work and mindfulness. Sumeru Innovation X covers innovations, entrepreneurship, and cutting-edge technologies that have potential to introduce multitude technology products and reignite the innovation capacities and the intellectual property development among the participants who are going to undergo this program. This will certainly help the Indian subcontinent to rise to be the leading global entrepreneurship and innovation hub. The challenge of an emerging India is getting compounded with transformation in economic and social paradigms. We are all aware of it. It's indeed the need of the hour to align and synchronize our education system, especially the higher education system, learning environment with skilling, employment, and entrepreneurship related aspects. Both the state and the central governments, they are taking strong steps towards supporting startups, providing an enabling environment, and also, helping in creation of IP in the country. I'm sure this new program will be aligned with various initiatives of the union government and the state government. We need to, fall in place with the state and the central government policies so that the environment becomes more and more congenial for the entrepreneurship development. To support these ideas and these initiatives further, we need to strengthen the industry and academia relationship. We always find a big gap between the industry and the academia. So we need to structure our education system to meet the current needs of the industry. It's possible by creating an employment generating entrepreneurial pursuits and the job-oriented learning and skilling in our education system. IIEduTech, under the able leadership of a great visionary, a thought leader, and a good friend of mine, Dr. Bharat Kotecha, who I always consider as a friend, philosopher, and a guide, is on a mission to fulfill and bridge the employment gap between the education system and the industry by providing the participants with necessary tools to innovate, by providing, innovate and create employment opportunities and provide an overall economic impetus to boost innovation and a startup ecosystem in the country. His outstanding experience will enrich this program in a very unique way. I hope this program will also help in developing this country into a premier hub for study and practice of technology-centric entrepreneurship and innovation. Further, I was going through the details of the program. I'm sure that this program will help the nation and also enable us in the mission to achieve the vision of creating a host of technology-based products that will help in solving several complex problems, especially in the sectors of agriculture, because I have been into agriculture sector in last 2 decades, and we see there are a lot of problems, there are a lot of constraints, there are a lot of challenges being thrown in the sector. Similarly, we have several challenges in horticulture sector, defense sector, healthcare, manufacturing sector, higher education, things like that. So this program will help in resolving the problems that are being faced by these sectors in a very unique and innovative way. Thus, this will help both the union government and the central government and the state governments and even the local administration in a big way to bring the country on the world map as the leading innovator and an IP generator in the technology sector. I was going through the important objectives of the program, it's very interesting to note that this program will really help the young talent in the country in identifying and evaluating several new opportunities which are present and which are going to open up in the days to come. This will also help in improving the project conceptualization. It's very important for any entrepreneur to conceive the idea in the right way and also build the technical leadership. Program supports developing a critical thinking system, problem solving attitude among the entrepreneurs, and also develop an open mindset among these participants. It will also bring the correlation between the innovation projects and help it developing the strategies for building their businesses, identifying several new opportunities and market validation related aspects, also building a cohesive winning team of experts so that it is, it becomes easy for the entrepreneurs to, succeed in the journey. So the program also aims at developing a supportive ecosystem for innovating the projects, understanding the venture ecosystem, promoting a research-based entrepreneurship with leadership. Thus, I feel, the program is very well designed. And as Gopalji was mentioning in his talk, this will really bring a great revolution in the entire, nation. And I wish more and more institutions across the country to adopt and help their students to take up this program in a very priority way, so that we will help the nation, especially the youngsters, to grow into the future entrepreneurs. So I'm sure this program will enable a complete end-to-end digital ecosystem for skills in emerging technologies, entrepreneurship, innovation, and mindfulness. I take this opportunity to congratulate all the institutions, all the great individuals who are involved in designing and developing this program for the for the benefit of the future entrepreneurs of this country. I thank Dr. Kotecha and all his team members for inviting me to share a few words during this event. Thank you very much, and I wish the program a great success in India. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Next up, we have Mr. Ashok Karwa, who is the Managing Director of Mechatronic System, a water tech company which provides real-time water resource management, information systems, and water distribution management systems. Mr. Karwa received the Best Entrepreneur and Tapadia Award in the year 2000 and the CBIP Award of Best Industry in Water Sector for Innovative Smart Digital Integrated Water Resources Management in the year 2018. So we'd love to hear from you.
Sir, please unmute. Ashok ji, please unmute.
Sir, you are not audible. of Dudhsagar Dairy, Mehsana, one of the largest dairy cooperatives of India and a part of Amul. He has 33 years of hand-on experience in the field of dairy industry and core animal husbandry. He has worked closely with more than 5,000 milk producers and not only witnessed various technological evolvements in dairy sector, but was instrumental in bringing various innovative technologies in the dairy sector and animal husbandry business, and was successful for income generation and welfare of small and marginal farmers and milk producers. He has extensive knowledge of working of milk cooperatives and dairy industry as a whole. Could we please have a loud round of applause for him?
Thank you, Shyama. His Holiness Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji, Honorable distinguished guests on the dais, Suman Ji, Achal Ji, Bharat, and all other guests, faculty directors, faculties, and students. Whenever we hear the word innovation, we often confuse it with the word invention. Invention is something absolutely new, whereas innovation can be done in any existing product, process, or any system. You think of a mobile. Earlier we were having keypad mobile. So some innovation was done in that and camera was brought in. Voice recorder was brought in. And now a lot of things are there. So all those are innovations. And as you are aware, innovation can be done in anything. With the evolvement of artificial intelligence and machine learning, the life has become easier, and these innovative technologies now rule over the market. So with this program, not only innovation, but entrepreneurship and mindfulness will also be there. As I am from dairy industry, I will talk about that industry only. You will be surprised to know that artificial intelligence and machine learning can be used in dairy sector and animal husbandry too. Many of you might be from rural background, and you might have seen your mother, father working with the animals. Artificial intelligence is now gaining popularity in dairy farming, and it is growing at a phenomenal pace. It can predominantly change the scenario of dairy farmers by maintaining the health as well as physiological and physical conditions of the dairy cow. This knowledge-based technology has a huge potential and could confront the loopholes of the dairy farming and thus indirectly strengthen the dairy industry. In dairy farming, AI has multiple applications like monitoring of activities of the dairy cows, boosting the milk production and farm productivity, detection of various diseases in the dairy cows, detecting dairy farm orders, and developing smart cow houses powered by the image analysis. Eventually, it provides new hope and often prospects for overall quality and progress in the dairy industry through a profitable business approach in dairy farming. So a lot of new ideas can be there in dairy industry for using these innovative technologies. There are a number of companies which have come forward using these technologies, which is helping the dairy industry in a great manner. Canthus is a company that uses artificial intelligence to identify the health and reproduction of the animal. MooID is a platform based on artificial intelligence for cattle identification. You see, we have Aadhaar card for our identification. But for cattle, for giving subsidies, government subsidies, for cattle loans, for any other thing, for trading also, they must have some identity. Right now, barcoded ear tags which pierce into the ear of the animal, they are there. But there are technologies now available with the help of artificial intelligence. By face recognition, the animal can be identified and the things can be done in a more secure manner. MooID is a platform based on the artificial intelligence for the cattle, which by face recognition, there is a cattle, digital identity of the cattle. Stell apps is a technology that optimizes the supply chain of milk production. You see, milk is a perishable commodity. And you see, if you don't chill the milk within few hours, 3 or 4 hours, it will get spoiled. So a lot of artificial intelligence may be used in such technologies so that milk is not spoiled. So Stell App is a company which is using these technologies in the milk supply chain. There is a startup called Moo Farm, which works with the Microsoft that helps Indian dairy farmers to address the issue of cattle identity by developing a machine learning platform. And moreover, this technology can tackle diseases that have negative consequences on the level and quality of production. So image sensoring is a technology by which movement of the cattle can be analyzed, and based on that, whether the animal is sick or whether the animal is not eating anything, and all these things can be controlled, and desired reply can be given to that. Sumeru Innovation is such a program which not only gives us the best technical education of UC Berkeley at your doorstep, but also gives a chance to start a startup using the education learned, and so there is the help of finance available also for such startup. I am privileged to be a part of this occasion of the announcement of National Exclusive Partnership of EduTech, IIEduTech, for this program. Being on the board of mentors, I am always available to share my experience in the dairy field for benefits of the students. I congratulate Bharat, Somenji, and Achalji, Arvindji to bring this program. I congratulate IPS Academy to be the first delivery center in whole of the India, rather, as Bharat rightly said, in the whole of the world. I congratulate Sumeru Innovation for bringing this program to our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nitinji, for such a wonderful insight into how technology could be utilized in a sector such as animal husbandry and milk production. Something which we might not look at or consider as an opportunity where technology could be used. And there are examples where IoT, AI, machine learning has been put to good use in these sectors. And not just this, agriculture is playing a vital role when we talk about technology. And I'd like to call upon the next speaker, Krishan Khanna ji. He's the chairman and founder of iWatch, a non-profit think tank and foundation which is a mechanical engineer from IIT Kharagpur. Mr. Krishan Khanna has set up 2 Point Ventures, which are listed on the National Stock Exchange and Bombay Stock Exchange, and he initiated the Ministry of MSME in 2004 and Ministry of Skills Development in 2014. In 2018, he was instrumental in setting up of 10,000 Farmer Protection Organization with Niti Aayog. I'd like to call upon Krishan Khanna ji for his address, and this would probably be the last address for today due to some time constraints. We'd have to request Sri Sanjay Langde ji and Vijay Bhaskar ji to address us some other time. Please, Krishan Khanna ji.
Krishan Khanna ji.
Thank you very much. Am I audible? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah. Khanna ji, one sec.
Okay.
One sec, please. Krishan Khanna ji is also from IIT Kharagpur, and day before yesterday, Khanna ji and Achal ji had a good chat. But Khanna ji, very sorry to say that within 2 minutes or 3 minutes we will have to wind up this, because we want to keep an entire day for you, and because of certain problem, I think I have to apologize with my dear friend Sanjay ji.
No, I will cut short.
And Vijay Bhaskar ji also.
Bharat bhai, don't worry, I will make it very short.
So Vijay Bhaskar ji and Sanjay ji, we will keep a separate session again. We all are family. They are also family. So 2 minutes, please. Thanks.
Thank you. I must congratulate Bharat bhai and architect Chaudhary to initiate this with Berkeley. It's a feather in the cap for the country. I just want to bring to the notice 4 or 5 important aspects. I don't want to repeat what the other eminent speakers have said. Actually, in 1929, when we had the stock market crash in America, the market cap was 90% on material assets like plant and machinery, land, building, and less than 10% on human assets. Now, after 93 years, 90% or more of the market cap is due to human assets, whether it is due to brand, whether it is due to know-how, trademark, patents, IPR, training, innovation, etc., etc. So the whole paradigm has shifted in business. Today, human assets are more important. Assets like land, building, plant, machinery are important, but they are not so relevant. Unless you have high quality human asset, things are not going to move. And it is for this reason I congratulate the people who are instrumental in starting this. I will just like to give 2 small examples and stop. Few years ago, I was invited by the South Korean government to chair a session in Seoul, Korea. And there I met the Deputy Prime Minister of Korea. And he told me that his job is only to look after human assets. He says all education, all training is under me. All other things like, starting new projects, etc., is the other ministries. So that is a very important example, and that is the reason why Korea has grown after their war with North Korea. The second example I just want to give is about Professor C.K. Prahlad. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. He was called to deliver a lecture about what India should be in this year or next year, India at 75. And he said the only thing which is going to change the country, number 1, education, number 2, training, and the youth. He said all other committees in the CII and Boston Consulting Group are irrelevant. So human assets is the key, and I think what to innovate and create enterprise. 68% of the people in India are self-employed. So if 68% are self-employed, if we could bring in innovation and entrepreneurship and mindfulness, their productivity will double, triple, maybe go up 5 times or 10 times. And lastly, I just want to mention that 92% of the workforce in India is with MSMEs. In fact, with agriculture, it is more or less 100%. And I congratulate the organizers for starting this in a place which is already in education. The IPS Academy is a great achievement, and for which I congratulate Dr. Bharat Kotecha and the others who are involved. I wish you good luck and a lot of success in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Khanna ji. Can we please have a huge round of applause for all our guests for sharing such wonderful insights. Also, our sincere apologies to Sanjay Lange ji, Ashok Karwa ji, and Vijay Bhaskar ji. We'll soon organize a different session for each one of you. And also special mention to Mr. H.B. Nayak. It gives us great pleasure to announce that IPS Academy would be the first delivery center for the program Sumeru Innovation X across India. We look forward to the faculty and the students at IPS Academy to take maximum benefit of this opportunity. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. On a closing note, let's hear from Achal ji. Okay.
All these renowned entrepreneurs and speakers, they were actually not only for the inaugural speech this session, they plus lot many more. Means Bharat Bhai has a long list. I always tell him, give me a list who don't know you. Don't give me a list of who knows you, but just give me a list of who don't know. So help of all these, the direction, the guidance from all these people will be available during the course time. And I just had a talk with Somenji. For deserving candidates, there will be provision of a scholarship. And one more thing I want to mention here, IPS Academy has been keeping a fund of 25 lakhs, though it doesn't sound very much, but for an educational institute, it is a good fund, which is for the entrepreneurs, for the startups, for the innovative works by the students or by the faculty. Now, IPS Academy is deciding to raise this fund to 1 crore, and recently we have actually funded a program. One of our faculty, Dr. Punamoli, she is working on a project wherein the cancer detection process, a cheaper process is being designed. We have funded her about 66 lakhs. So I'm very sure, means with the help of this program, which I have said in the beginning, that this 41 will go to 410. So with all the enthusiastic faculty and the students, I think we should attain that, and you should make full use of such opportunities. Thank you. Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much for being here with us.